my heart goes out to you because I know someone who also was a student of the, I won't call them an imam, but the recent Quran teacher that has been in the news.
Mhm.
Uh, Fantastic question. Is it okay to make dua for him, his victims, his family, and all of us that are affected by this news?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, uh, there's nothing preventing. There's no harm in making du'a. You know, our du'a is between us and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to have for us to ask for all those who have been harmed to be to find justice and to be healed. For abusers to come to awareness, to take responsibility, to hold themselves accountable, and to make not only tawbah to Allah, but also to do whatever is necessary or whatever is possible to keep themselves from ever doing that again. And sometimes that can be both their own, therapy or something else, but also, uh, they might never. Usually, people don't restrain themselves this way. It's us as a community who have to restrain them and say this person is not safe to be in a position of leadership or to have access to vulnerable people. So I want to distinguish between our private dua. This is one thing. I would say publicly, it would be very harmful to the people that he's abused if we put the focus on him. If we focus on his, healing and repentance in a public way, then rather than focusing on those who have been harmed by him, I think this could contribute to the harm of those who have been victimized. It doesn't mean that, there may be someone who's giving him some spiritual counseling if he wants it, or therapeutic counseling, but that's very different than what we prioritize as a community. The question is, do we believe that everyone else, children, community members, whoever they are, do we believe that they have the same honor and dignity, the same hurma as the imams, scholars, shuyukh, or do we believe that they somehow deserve special treatment and focus and love and care? Now, we should be grateful for those who have helped us. I mean, we're grateful to our parents for what they do, but it doesn't mean we're grateful to our parents for if they did harm to us. We have to distinguish these things and make and categorize things in a different way. So, you could make that private dua, but publicly, our community should be focused not only on supporting those people who have been harmed in our prayers and our activities, but how are we going to prevent this from happening? Because this is not the first time something like this has happened. Let's try to prevent it from happening again. We may not be able to put perfect protection in place, but we could do much, much better than we have so far. So that's what I would really emphasize at this point.
Jazakallah khair. If I can just add to that, I think that the sentiment and the intention is beautiful. So may Allah bless whoever wrote that for even wanting to ask the question and offer prayers. I would add to that we should continue praying for the people who have been harmed in the past and didn't have access to social media and the internet to raise awareness about it, and make dua for the people who unfortunately will continue to be harmed, because this will continue to happen. And for whatever reason, the internet really came together to raise awareness for this one incident, which alhamdulillah that it happened, but there's many that are not getting the same attention. And then the other thing I would just add is that in my line of work, we often talk about support people, or what I like to call, or some professionals like to call, the helpers. And so the support people and the helpers are the people who are often the voice for the person who feels voiceless in that moment, for the person who was harmed. So I'd say even in this situation, let's make dua for the person who actually called authorities, who found the information and was courageous and brave enough to say no more. This is not allowed. This is not okay. and may Allah bless them for their courage, because it's what started this entire snowball effect. It's a very brave thing to be that support person and to be that helper, and it connects back to what I was saying in my talk about being an upstander or a bystander. Let's make dua for the people who are brave enough to speak up, and let's make dua for ourselves that inshallah Allah gives us the courage to speak up as well when we see wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, Sister Henna, your comment reminded me of, yeah, I'm aware of saying, there are always those community members who are like the trusted uncle and auntie that people go to with the problems in the community. And I remember hearing one time it was a different context of a wife being abused by her husband, and they went to those community elders and they said, "Hey, can you do something?" And the community elders said, "Well, can you do something? Because you're the ones who go to their house every Friday. Like you're the one who's there to be the helper." So, Ameen to your dua, and like may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people who are not just brave on the keyboard, but brave, in our spheres of influence as well.